Hey Aries, I just pulled cards for you and I need to share what came through because this energy is really something. I have been working with tarot for years, and sometimes you get readings that just hit differently, and this is one of those moments. The universe is literally orchestrating a whole experience for this person to understand what they lost when they walked away from you or took you for granted. So let me tell you what I am seeing here. I pulled 6 cards for this reading, and the story they are telling is absolutely fascinating. This is not about you waiting around or hoping they come back. This is about a cosmic lesson that is unfolding for someone who clearly did not appreciate what they had when they had you. And Aries, I know you have that fierce, independent energy, but I also know that sometimes there was that one person who made you question your worth, or made you feel like maybe you were too much or not enough. This reading is going to show you exactly what is happening on their end right now. Before I dive into the cards, I want you to understand something really important. This reading is not about revenge or schadenfreude, even though I know that fire sign part of you might feel a little vindicated by what I am about to share. This is actually about divine timing and universal justice. Sometimes people need to lose something precious to understand its value, and that is exactly what is playing out here. The universe has a way of teaching lessons that we as humans cannot teach, and right now this person is enrolled in a masterclass about your worth. All right, so the first card I pulled is the Page of Pentacles. And this is really interesting as an opening energy. When I see this card in this context, it is telling me about someone who is now looking at the practical reality of their life without you in it. The Page of Pentacles represents that moment of assessment, that student energy where someone is finally paying attention to the details they ignored before. This person is starting to notice all the little things you brought to their life that they completely took for granted. Think about what the Page of Pentacles represents. It is that energy of examining resources, of suddenly becoming aware of value and worth. This person is going through their daily routine and they are encountering gap after gap where you used to be. Maybe it is the way you used to handle certain things, or the energy you brought into spaces, or the practical support you provided that they did not even register as support at the time. The page is a learner, and right now they are learning a very hard lesson about what they actually had with you. What makes this even more significant is that Pentacles deal with the tangible, the material, the real world stuff. This is not just emotional missing you. This is them realizing that their actual life functioned better with you in it. Maybe you were the one who remembered important things, or organized aspects of life, or brought stability they did not recognize as stability. The Page of Pentacles is showing me someone who is now taking inventory and coming up short. They are looking at the practical structure of their life and seeing holes everywhere. I am also getting that this person might be in a new situation, whether that is a new relationship or just a new phase of life, and they are trying to build something. But the Page of Pentacles suggests they are struggling with the basics. They are like a student who skipped too many classes and now cannot pass the test. Every time they try to move forward or create something stable, they are confronted with the absence of what you provided. The universe is making sure they cannot escape this lesson. They cannot just move on and forget, because every single day presents them with evidence of what they lost. There is also this energy of them maybe trying to reach out or find ways to check on you, but doing it in this tentative, uncertain way. The page energy is not bold or confident. It is curious and a little insecure. They might be asking mutual friends about you or looking at your social media, trying to gather information like the page gathers knowledge. But here's the thing. Whatever they are seeing is making them realize even more what they gave up. You are thriving, or at least you are moving forward in a way that makes it clear you are not sitting around waiting for them. The second card is really powerful, and it is the Page of Swords. Now, having 2 pages back to back is extremely telling because pages represent messages, learning, and new awareness. But where the Page of Pentacles was about practical realization, the Page of Swords is about mental clarity and truth. This person is getting hit with truth after truth about the situation. The fog is lifting and they are seeing things as they actually were, not as they convinced themselves they were. The Page of Swords has this energy of sharp realization, sometimes even painful clarity. This card is telling me that this person is having thoughts they cannot escape from. You know how sometimes the truth just keeps poking at you, showing up in different ways until you cannot ignore it anymore? That is what is happening to them. They are being confronted mentally and intellectually with the reality of their choices. Maybe they told themselves certain stories to justify their behavior or their distance or whatever happened between you two. Those stories are falling apart now. What I am seeing with this card is that they are also observing other relationships around them, other people who have what they gave up. The Page of Swords is observant and analytical. They are watching couples who communicate well and realizing how good the communication was with you. They are seeing people who support each other and remembering how you showed up for them. They are witnessing healthy dynamics and understanding for the first time what they actually had and squandered. The sword suit deals with the mental realm, with thoughts and communication and truth. This person cannot stop thinking about you and about the situation. But it is not romantic nostalgia. It is more like their mind keeps bringing them back to specific moments, specific conversations, specific instances where you demonstrated your value and they were too blind or too selfish or too distracted to appreciate it. The Page of Swords is immature in the sense that it represents someone who is just now learning to use their mental faculties properly. They are just now learning to think clearly about what happened. I am also getting that this person might be hearing things from other people. The Page of Swords can represent messages and communication. Maybe mutual friends are being honest with them in ways they were not before. Maybe someone close to them is pointing out how differently they seem now that you are not around. The Page of Swords brings information, and that information is forcing them to confront truths they avoided. Every piece of information they receive seems to point to the same conclusion that they made a massive mistake with you. There is this relentless quality to the Page of Swords. It is like their own mind has become a source of discomfort. They cannot distract themselves successfully because the thoughts keep coming back. They cannot rewrite the narrative because the facts are too clear. This is the universe using their own mental processes to teach them what they need to learn. And Aries, I know you value honesty and directness, so you might actually appreciate that they are being forced to face the truth, even if it is painful for them. Now the third card is the King of Swords. And this is where the energy really shifts into something quite intense. After 2 pages, we have a King and Kings represent mastery, authority, and full manifestation of their suit. The King of Swords is the ultimate card of truth, clarity, and sometimes harsh judgment. What this is showing me is that the universe itself is acting as this authority figure, delivering a clear and unambiguous verdict about the situation. The King of Swords does not sugarcoat anything. This is the energy of absolute clarity, of seeing situations exactly as they are with no emotional distortion. While the person represented in this reading is going through their learning process with the pages, there is a higher power or higher perspective that has already reached a definitive conclusion. The King of Swords is saying that the truth of your value and the truth of their mistake is not up for debate. It is established fact. What I find really fascinating here is that the King of Swords can also represent a person, and I am wondering if there is someone in their life right now, maybe a friend or family member or mentor figure, who is being brutally honest with them about their situation. Someone who is not entertaining their excuses or their attempts to downplay what they lost. The King of Swords energy is that person who will look you straight in the eye and tell you exactly where you went wrong with no concern for your feelings about it. This card is also showing me that this person is being held accountable in ways they cannot escape. The King of Swords represents justice through truth. They cannot manipulate the narrative. They cannot charm their way out of the consequences. They cannot avoid the reality check that is happening. If they try to reach out to you or try to come back, they are going to have to face the full truth of what they did and why it was wrong. There is no easy path back for them, even if they wanted one. I am also seeing with the King of Swords that this person might be realizing how much they underestimated your intelligence and your perception. Aries, you are a cardinal fire sign, which means you are a leader and an initiator, but you are also incredibly perceptive about people and situations. The King of Swords is suggesting that they are understanding now that you saw them clearly the whole time. You saw their flaws, their selfishness, their limitations, and you loved them or cared for them anyway, and they took that for granted, assuming you did not notice or did not mind. Now they are realizing that you were actually operating from a place of tremendous clarity and generosity, and they threw it away. The King of Swords is also about cutting through illusions, and this person is having every single illusion they held about the situation systematically destroyed. If they thought they could find better, they are learning they cannot. If they thought you needed them more than they needed you, that illusion is shattered. If they thought they had time to figure things out and you would always be available, they are discovering how wrong they were. The universe is wielding truth like the King of Swords wields his sword, and it is cutting through every false belief they held. Moving to the fourth card, and this is the Five of Cups. Now this is really significant because we have moved from swords to cups, which means we are moving from the mental realm to the emotional realm. The Five of Cups is one of the most potent cards of grief, loss, and regret in the entire tarot deck. This person is feeling the emotional weight of what they have lost, and it is hitting them hard. Look at the imagery of the Five of Cups if you know this card. There is a figure in a black cloak standing before three spilled cups, mourning what is lost, while behind them are two cups still standing that they are not even seeing. This is exactly what is happening with this person. They are so consumed with grief over losing you that they cannot even appreciate whatever they do have in their life right now. Everything pales in comparison to what they gave up. This is where the lesson gets really emotional for them. The practical realizations from the Page of Pentacles, the mental clarity from the Page of Swords and the King of Swords, all of that is now translating into deep emotional pain. The Five of Cups represents that moment when the heart finally catches up with what the head has been trying to tell it. They feel the loss now in a way that is undeniable and consuming. What makes the Five of Cups so powerful in this reading is that it represents a very specific type of regret. It is not just sadness about a situation, it is grief over choices made and opportunities missed. This person is replaying moments in their mind and emotionally experiencing the weight of their mistakes. Every memory of you is now tinged with this profound sense of loss. They are finally feeling what it actually means to not have you in their life anymore, and it is devastating for them. I am also seeing that this person might be trying to fill the void you left with other things or other people, but nothing works. That is what those two standing cups represent in a way. They might have other options or other situations, but none of it matters because they are fixated on what they lost with you. The Five of Cups shows someone who cannot move forward because they are too busy mourning the past. The universe is making sure they sit with this feeling, that they cannot just skip over it or bypass it. There is also an element here of public or private grief. They might be presenting a certain face to the world, but privately, they are falling apart over this loss. Or alternatively, their grief might be visible to others, which adds another layer of consequence to their actions. People around them can see that they are not okay, that losing you has genuinely affected them in profound ways. This makes the lesson even more powerful, because it is not just internal, it is becoming part of how others perceive them and their choices. The fifth card is the World, and honestly, when I pulled this, I had to pause because this card is so significant in this position. The World represents completion, fulfillment, achievement of wholeness. In the context of this reading, the World is showing me that you represent or represented a sense of completion in this person's life. You were the piece that made everything come together, that created a sense of wholeness and achievement that they did not even realize they had. The World is the final card of the major arcana. It represents the end of a journey and the attainment of everything you have been working toward. For this person, Being with you or having you in their life was actually their world card moment. They had achieved something beautiful and complete, but they were too unconscious to recognize it. They were standing at the finish line, holding the trophy, and they just set it down and walked away because they did not understand what they had. Now that you are gone, they are feeling the absence of that completion. Their life feels incomplete, fragmented, like something essential is missing. The world energy is no longer present for them, and they can feel it. Everything feels less satisfying, less meaningful, less whole. They are going through their days with this nagging sense that they are missing something crucial, and what they are missing is the sense of fulfillment and completion that you brought to their life. What is really interesting about the world in this position is that it also represents cycles and karma. The universe operates in cycles, and what we put out comes back to us. This person is now experiencing the karmic consequence of not valuing completion when they had it. They took something whole and beautiful and broke it through their neglect or their choices, and now they are living in the broken pieces, wondering why nothing feels right anymore. The world also represents achievement and success, and I am getting that you probably contributed to their success or their sense of achievement in ways they did not acknowledge. Maybe you supported their goals or believed in them, or provided the stability that allowed them to pursue things. Now they are finding that success feels hollow without you there to share it with, or without the foundation you provided. They might be achieving things externally, but feeling empty internally because the world card completion is missing from their life. There is also a cosmic element to the world that I cannot ignore. This card represents the universe itself in many ways, the completion of universal cycles. What I am seeing is that the universe is showing them that you were their world, that you were the fulfillment of something cosmically significant in their life journey. By letting you go, they have stepped out of alignment with their highest path. They are being shown through lived experience what it means to reject your own wholeness and completion. The universe is not punishing them exactly, it is educating them about the value of what they had. The sixth and final card is the Page of Cups. And I love that we are ending with another page because it brings us full circle, but with a completely different energy. We started with pages of practical and mental learning, and now we are ending with a page of emotional learning. The Page of Cups represents new emotional awareness, intuitive messages, and the beginning of emotional maturity. This is showing me where this person is headed if they continue on this path of awakening. The Page of Cups is a gentle card. It is about opening the heart, about being willing to feel deeply and honestly. After all the harsh lessons and painful realizations, this card suggests that this person is finally developing the emotional capacity they should have had all along. They are learning to value emotional connection, to appreciate vulnerability, to understand the preciousness of genuine feeling. Unfortunately for them, they are learning this lesson without you, after losing you. This card often represents an offer or a message in the realm of emotions. I am seeing that this person may want to reach out to you with a heartfelt message or communication. They may want to express their feelings, their regrets, their newfound understanding. The Page of Cups is sincere, even if it is immature. They genuinely feel something now and they want you to know. Whether you should entertain that or not is entirely up to you, Aries. But the cards are showing me that genuine feeling is developing in them where perhaps it was underdeveloped before. What is important about the Page of Cups in this position is that it shows growth potential, but it is still page energy. Pages are students, beginners, people who are just starting to understand something. Even if this person reaches out, even if they express their feelings beautifully, they are still at the beginning of understanding what real emotional maturity and depth requires. They are finally feeling what they should have felt all along, but they are not yet at a place of full emotional development or mastery. The Page of Cups also represents intuition and inner voice. This person is finally listening to their heart, finally paying attention to their intuitive sense of what matters. Their heart is telling them that losing you was a mistake, that you were special, that what you shared was rare and valuable. They are finally tuning into the emotional frequency they ignored before, and what they are receiving is message after message about your significance in their life. So Aries, let me bring this all together for you because the story these 6 cards tell is really quite remarkable. The universe is putting this person through a complete education about your value and what they lost. It started with practical realizations through the Page of Pentacles, seeing how their daily life is missing what you provided. Then it moved to mental clarity with the Page of Swords and the King of Swords, where they cannot escape the truth of the situation and are being held accountable by truth itself. The emotional devastation of the Five of Cups shows them feeling the loss in their heart in ways that are genuinely painful for them. The world reveals to them that you represented completion and wholeness that they have now lost. And finally, the Page of Cups shows them developing emotional awareness, but only after it is too late, only after you are gone. This reading is not really about whether they come back or whether you should take them back. This is about universal justice and cosmic lessons. This person is going through something that will fundamentally change them, and you are the catalyst for that growth, even though you are no longer present in their life. The universe is showing them what life without you feels like, and apparently it feels empty, incomplete, painful, and full of regret. What I want you to take from this, Aries, is validation. Your worth is not determined by whether someone recognized it in the moment. Your value is not diminished by someone's failure to appreciate you. The universe sees you clearly, even when individuals do not, and the universe has a way of revealing truth that cannot be denied. This person is learning your value the hard way. And while that might feel like vindication, what it really represents is confirmation that you were right to walk away, or to maintain your standards, or to refuse to accept less than you deserve. You are in your own world card moment right now in a different way. You are completing a cycle, closing a chapter, and moving toward your own wholeness that does not require someone else's validation. While they are learning about what they lost, you are discovering what you gain when you refuse to settle. That is the real message here. The universe is teaching them about your value, but you already know your value, and that is why you are free, and they are stuck in their lessons. I hope this reading brought you some clarity, and maybe even some peace. Sometimes we need to see that the universe is handling things, that justice is being served even when we are not the ones serving it. You keep moving forward, Aries. Keep being your authentic, powerful self, and trust that anyone who failed to appreciate you is now getting a very thorough education in what they missed.